In my presentation today, I want to provide you with an update on the 4 subjects that I'm looking after, which is obviously the GCSE Home Economics, the entry-level qualification Home Economics, then the GCSE Child Development and Food and Nutrition, but also the GCE Nutrition and Food Science. I will then say a few words on the summer 2023 awarding arrangements. I'll refer to the advanced information, what it is and how it should be used. And then I'll also refer to some subject-specific resources from CCEA and other agencies. As you can see on this slide, the number of students taking one of the 4 subjects I'm responsible for remains actually quite encouraging. The numbers show students completing their full qualification in summer 21 and 22 in those last 2 columns. You can see there was a good increase in students completing the GCSE Food and Nutrition. You may notice a small drop in numbers for AS and A2, which can be down to some schools requiring a minimum number of maybe 8 to 10 students before they run a class and agree to timetable, the A level. The 2 numbers in the bottom line, that wasn't meant to move on as yet. The 2 numbers in the bottom line that you can see refer to option A, food security and sustainability, and option B, food safety and quality, that are being taken by the students. So in total, you would have had 679, I think, in 29 doing the A2 and 615 in 22. Now, other CCEA qualifications that are often delivered by home economics departments are, of course, the GCSE and the GCE in health and social care, with big numbers in it, 3,500 near enough for AS, and also the GCSE hospitality. And based on the earlier presentations today, which were very interesting from Richard and Colin, I should mention that CCEA also offers a GCSE in agriculture and land use. Now, I think in the last summer, we had just around about 300 students taking that particular GCSE. Now, what are the summer 2023 awarding arrangements? As you know, throughout 21 and 22 academic year, schools obviously continue to experience disruption as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And to acknowledge the disruption, a number of adaptations to assessment arrangements have been agreed for CCEA qualifications for this current 22-23 academic year. Back in June 22, the Education Minister, Michelle McElveen MLA, wrote to all post-primary schools setting out the adaptations. This included confirmation of arrangements for internal assessments, bringing forward the January examination series for GCSE English Language and Mathematics to November and December 22, and then the provision of advanced information for timetabled examinations this summer, which I will focus on now. All these arrangements obviously have been introduced to help mitigate the disruption to teaching and learning experienced by the students intending to sit exams this summer. Advanced information will now be provided for 271 CCEA, GCSE, AS and A-level exams in summer 2023. To inform the development of the advanced information, CCEA agreed a set of 6 principles with the qualifications regulator. I have summarized those 6 principles in the brief bullet points on this slide for you, but in the interest of time, I will move on with my presentation. So what is advanced information and what is its purpose? The purpose is that it is intended to communicate in advance some of the aspects of the specification that will be assessed in each examination paper. Its purpose is therefore then to support students' preparation and, importantly, revision in the period leading up to the public examinations. It will vary across subjects to best reflect the structure and characteristics of each qualification and also question paper style. The information will detail the focus of particular aspects of the examination. It might, for example, give you content, context, text, topics or subtopics, possibly themes and skills that will be assessed. However, please note that the advanced information will not include everything that is being assessed in each examination paper. For example, in synoptic questions or multiple choice questions. The information, the advanced information, will be available from this coming Monday, Monday the 27th of February. The 271 exam units or components will obviously include the 7 units listed here for child development, food nutrition, and food science. And just to note that subject-specific advanced information webinars were published on our website at the end of January, and I hope that most of you were able to access those and have listened to them, and you found the information useful on what your particular advanced information will look like and how to use it. So they were specific for child development, and I put one together for food nutrition and food science. Now, how to use it leads me nicely into this particular slide. It can be used obviously by centres and students from Monday onwards when it will be released. It should be used flexibly by the centres to achieve its purpose of supporting revision. It should not, however, be used to narrow teaching and learning. Centres should really ensure that the full content of each CCEA specification continues to be covered in order that students are sufficiently prepared to respond to all questions in the exam. For example, to be able to respond, as I said, to synoptic questions, or to formulate a response that draws on knowledge and skills from across the specification. Yes, it can be used by teachers in supporting their students' revision, as well as being referred to by students in their own revision and the final examination preparation. However, it cannot be brought into the examinations. And as I said, it will not be at a level or detail that allows questions to be predicted or answers prepared. Preparations should definitely continue to focus on knowledge and understanding that can be applied appropriately in the context of unseen examination questions. So just to remember again, content not listed in the advanced information can appear in an examination paper in any question style. And finally, advanced information will list the content in the order it appears in the specification and not in the question order of the paper. And I will highlight just a few points on awarding then in summer 23. As many of you will obviously know, in the absence of public exams back in summer 20 and in summer 21, the grades awarded to students in those two series were higher than in pre-pandemic years. With the return to public examinations, qualifications regulators across the UK are keen to see a return to pre-pandemic awarding arrangements. So in October 22, the qualifications regulator confirmed the approach to awarding grades that will be adopted for CCEA qualifications in this 22-23 academic year by stating, and you have the sentence here in italics, regulators across the UK are agreed that a return to pre-pandemic arrangements as soon as possible is important, while continuing to take account of the disruption experienced by students in recent years. To that end, CCEA will continue the journey back to pre-pandemic standards in awarding its qualifications in 2023 and expects to achieve this by 2024. So that really means that based on this statement above, we expect overall results at GCSE, AS and A-level in 23 to be lower than in 22. The journey back basically to pre-pandemic standards and pre-pandemic grade outcomes should then be completed by 2024. Now to some subject-specific updates. In November 22, CCEA issued the links to pre-recorded agreement trials to centres via the examination officers, and I hope everyone got those. While I appreciate that some teachers might prefer face-to-face agreement trials, a big advantage of the recorded ones is, of course, the fact that teachers have continued access to the information, can revisit the materials, replay the senior moderating team's recording for clarity, and refer back to exemplars throughout the academic year and in preparation for marking their students' portfolios. At the start of February, we then offered centres the opportunity to make use of portfolio clinics, a service where teachers can submit up to 3 pieces of provisionally marked coursework, and it doesn't have to be completed coursework. And in March, they will then receive feedback from the principal moderator on their marking, identifying if it was too lenient, too severe, or actually indeed it was in line with the agreed standard and the assessment criteria. Throughout the year, resources on the CS subject pages have either been updated and or added. So we had 7 fact files for A2 Nutrition and Food Science, which were updated in July 22. Then a new fact file for A2 on good manufacturing practice was also added. For GCSE, we added a new fact file on modifying recipes, and 3 new fact files for GCSE child development, which covered topics of antenatal care, physical development, and intellectual development, were added in September and October 22. And of course, we uploaded the BNF webinar on healthy and sustainable diets. And just a reminder again here that the subject-specific advanced information booklets will be published on Monday, the 27th of February. If we were together in a conference room right now, face to face, I probably would have placed some post-it notes onto your tables for you to jot down some ideas for new resources supporting our subjects. I'd still like to ask you now, in the comfort of your own home, please take a minute to note down any topics, learning outcomes, or areas in the specifications which you think could benefit from a new, be that a fact file, could benefit from a webinar and or a talk. I'd really like to hear from you, so please drop me an email with your suggestions. The email is on this slide, or use the chat facility now, and I will try and capture those when I'm finished with the presentation. A few words on further resources and or useful websites. Firstly, there are obviously CS Key Stage 3 resources under the banner of Learning for Life and Work, with its focus on home economics. You have the STEM Futures Home Economics resource, as well as the STEM Futures Agri-Food, and also the CEST Home Economics Guidance. And then, however, in no particular order, I will start with BNF's Food a Fact of Life website, and it'll come as no surprise that I'll highly recommend it, as it does bring a wealth of free online resources to both the GCSE Food Nutrition and the GCE Nutrition and Food Science. In fact, BNF have mapped all their resources against these 2 CS specifications and have those documents online. Then there's obviously the BBC Bite Size SEA GCSE Food Nutrition course, which is a great resource for students who might require some additional help with their homework, learning, and revision. The Food Standards Agency website has also plenty of resources, from recipes to research reports, the latter supporting topics in the A-level specification. And equally, the Public Health Agency website, if you just put healthy eating or food into their search function, it will list a real good number of relevant publications. And then there's also the Safe Foods website, covering food safety, healthy eating, and recipes. And last, but absolutely by no means least, the Food Teachers Centre. It has many useful resources. For example, their recent project, Affordable Food Lessons for All, is a new modular online course and resource, though I should say that their resources aren't always for free. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list, but some of the key resources I am aware many teachers are using currently. Moving on then, just wanted to say a quick word, because mental health and well-being is so important for students and teachers alike. I'd like to make you aware of CS Wellbeing Hub. It shows how the Northern Ireland curriculum promotes the learning and development of skills that support students' well-being and mental health. There's a range of helpful and relevant learning activities, including CCEA resources, but also links to other organisations that support the objectives of the curriculum. One sample resource for post-primary students under the banner of Supporting Your Health and Wellbeing is a short video resource which highlights 12 steps to support your health and well-being, and you have the web links shown on this slide. You can find out more about CCEA's range of teacher support on our social media channels and email subscription service. I hope many of you already follow CCEA via their preferred social media channel, be that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And also, if you've subscribed to receive email updates, these will be tailored to your identified areas of interest. For example, letting you know if a new fact file has been published on the website or when a new newsletter is available. Those communications come straight into your either work or personal email inbox, depending obviously on which you entered when you subscribed. And if you haven't already subscribed for updates yet, or you maybe want to update it and subscribe for more, you can do so by visiting the CCEA homepage. You have a screenshot here on this slide, and on the right-hand side on the homepage, you will find the subscribe for updates section highlighted by the green circle, where you can select your preschool, primary, post-primary, SEN and or CCEA newsletters, and you can subscribe, as I said, for as many as you wish. On the right-hand side, just above that, you'll also see a section for Examine with CCEA, and I'll refer to that in a minute. Now, for any centre or school, if you have generic centre or school queries, then please use that helpline at cceea.org.uk email, which you have on the right-hand side of the slide. But for any subject-specific queries, you can email either myself or my colleague, Louise Miller, and you have both of those emails on this slide too. So if you haven't already signed up for any of the updates, why not maybe do it at the break time when it comes up, and do it just today. And just to conclude, I would like to encourage and invite practicing teachers to become examiners or moderators with CCEA. We really, really need more of you to join us, given the fact, as I said earlier, that the home economics departments often cover 7 different CCEA subjects, as I alluded to at the start. So it'd be really good to get a few more of you on board. I've included a couple of quotes from examiners who've worked with us in summer 22 here. For example, it provides great insight into how marks are awarded, provides tips on exam technique, enhances understanding of the specification, widens the subject knowledge, benefits you and your students, as well as proving beneficial to your departments and the whole school. So as long as you have a minimum of 1 full year's teaching experience of a particular CCEA qualification specification, you can apply using the link shown on this slide, or use the link on the homepage of our website, which I showed you earlier, where it sits. And that really brings me to the end of my presentation. And I would just like to thank you for listening. And I also hope that you found some of the information interesting and helpful. So thank you very much.